All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to High Corbett Field, the home of Arizona baseball, for a very special day in a very historic program's history. We're glad to have you along. Just a couple of reminders here that for the media, we'll have a Q&A session after Dave Hickey and Chip Hale have a chance to speak. And then there will be one-on-one opportunities a little bit later on for the media here. We will ask that when it is time for those questions, we've got a microphone over here to the side if you just want to step to that, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. 38 years ago, it doesn't seem like that long, Chip Hale made the decision to play baseball for Jerry Kindle at the University of Arizona. His freshman season of 1984 was an indication of what was to come for Chip. He started all 58 games, hit .310 in his first year of college baseball. Now, the Wildcats lost a number of players off that roster, so in 1985, Coach Kindle leaned on Chip Hale, Todd Trafton, Steve Strong, Joe McGrain, Joe Estes, among some other JC transfers, to return the Cats to their winning ways, and it worked. It worked big time. The Wildcats won 47 games, advanced to the College World Series. Chip started all 69 games, hit .344 while leading the team with 57 walks. The 1986 Wildcats swept ASU to end the regular season, led the Pac-10 with 41 wins during the regular season, and were sent to Austin, Texas for a regional. They won 4 games in 4 days on their way to Omaha. The rest, as they say, is history. Arizona would win the school's 3rd national championship, beating Florida State 10-2 on June 9th of 1986. That's just over 35 years ago. Chip went 2 for 4 in that title game with a double and a triple. Chip then had his best individual season in 1987, batting a team-high .383 with 12 home runs and 47 RBI. When his senior season ended, Chip Hale would leave with numerous school records, having never missed a single game in his 4-year career wearing the Cardinal and Navy. Now, Chip will tell us about the influence Jerry Kindle had on his baseball career and more, but perhaps a picture will tell the story. You know, Coach Kindle made no secret of the fact that Chip was a great leader, born to be a baseball coach with a bright future in front of him. I know all of you can't see this, but as I was going through my boxes of memorabilia, I pulled out the program from the 1986 College World Series in Omaha, and I found the Arizona team picture. And in the front row is Jerry Kindle kneeling, and who is kneeling next to him? But number 6, Chip Hale. And that tells you a little bit about what Coach Kindle thought of Chip. So now, after a successful career as a major league player, coach, and manager, Chip Hale has come full circle back to where he first became a Wildcat for life, and now the head coach of the Wildcats. The man who brought him here has a soft spot for baseball in his heart. He loves the game. He's played the game. His sons have played the game. I know this was a job that he probably enjoyed more than any. So please welcome the Vice President of Athletics at the U of A, Dave Hickey.
Well, thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. Baseball is important. It's really important to me in my life, and I'm not sure every moment of it was enjoyable, but we got to the right spot, and it's certainly an enjoyable day today. So good morning, and thanks, everybody, for taking some time and being here. It's really an exciting day. I want to welcome everybody to High Corbett Field, this legendary place, this home for Arizona baseball. It is a special place, and there's some special grounds out there and great players that have played. But at the same time, I want to do something because I think it's really important to our program. As we bring back one of the Wildcat greats, as he returns here to the University of Arizona, I want to recognize the former long-time home of Arizona baseball, and that's at Jerry Kindle Field at Frank Sansett Stadium, what was located, just south of McHale on campus. Lots of incredible memories and times there. That's a huge part of the tradition of this program, and we couldn't stand here today if we didn't recognize that. As we talk about tradition, I'd also like to just recognize a couple things. One, we have some former players here from different decades. That's what makes this place special, is our great players and the love they have for this university. I'm so glad they could be here. I'd also like to recognize Jerry Stitt, coach here with us, longtime player. You only have so much of a career as a player, but a player here at Arizona, a longtime assistant coach and head coach from '97 to 2001. So, Stitter, we're glad to have you here. Thanks for being here. I'd also like to just mention Dr. Robbins isn't here, but he sends greetings. I know that he's talked to Chip. He's got some traveling commitments and couldn't be here. I know there'd only be one place that he really wants to be today, and that would be here celebrating this exciting moment. So today we introduce the 17th head coach for this baseball program. And I've done some math, but I think I'm pretty close, in 117 years of this program. That's Chip Hale. We welcome Chip and his wife Judy and their incredible family, who I'm sure he'll introduce when he has his time. But we're glad to have all of you here as Wildcats. You know, as I began the process of finding the next head coach for Arizona baseball, the focus was on to find a leader of this iconic program. It's an incredible program. A leader that could, bring back championships, continue the championships on the field, continue success in the classroom, continue to help young people develop while they're here. After 12 days, it felt like a lot longer than that, but really it was a 12-day national search, led us to an icon of this program, this elite program, and that's Chip Hale. Chip embodies what it means to be a Wildcat for life. It's a success story about the Wildcat way, becoming a champion on the field, off the field, and in life. There's no question about it. His enthusiasm and passion for baseball is only rivaled by his enthusiasm and passion for this university and this program here. He's worn the uniform. He's been an ambassador for what the Block A stands for. Chip, as Brian mentioned, Chip realized his championship potential under the legendary Arizona head coach, Jerry Kindle, a key member of our '86 national championship team. And his on-field success still resonates. Brian, again, mentioned a couple of things, but this guy still holds the all-time records for at-bats, hits, walks, total bases, and games played. You can do the math. He graduated a few years ago. That's a heck of a bunch of records to have and to continue to have. Tells you a little bit about the kind of player he was. He's also had banner academic success here, including being the recipient of the most prestigious award a student athlete can have, the Tom Hansen Medal from the Pac-10 at that time in 1987. Combines scholarship, athletics, and leadership. Chip was also an academic All-American in his senior year. He went on to play baseball in the biggest stages, reaching the major leagues with the Minnesota Twins in 1989. His pedigree as a champion was the basis for his successful career after he was done playing. Stayed in professional baseball, coaching and managing successfully at all levels. He reached the pinnacle of any coach's career, and he has a World Series ring to show for it, playing a key role on the Washington Nationals coaching staff in 2019. Chip's coached, and he's been coached by the greats of this game. He's witnessed the best of the best realize their dreams, become all-stars, win championships. He's also been part of development of countless players, developing players, helping them fulfill their dreams of being professional baseball players. And many of them went on to the major leagues. To me, that's what distinguishes Chip, his ability to develop players through genuine, meaningful relationships, because that's what this is all about. I think we've seen over the last couple of days through the numerous of media reports and the comments about Chip, players love to play for Chip Hale. Players at the University of Arizona will love to play for Chip Hale. And they'll have fun doing it as well. That's a key part of it. They'll learn, they'll grow, they'll develop as players and as people. And yes, we'll compete for championships. We'll focus on getting back to Omaha and the College World Series because that's part of the fabric of this program. This is one of the greatest baseball programs in the country. And last, but certainly not least, as I mentioned, Chip loves this program, this athletics department, this university, and this community. Even as his career took him all over the place through professional baseball, always called Tucson home. He's maintained an incredible relationship with our community, cares immensely about the Wildcat family, what goes on here, his passion for anyone who wears the colors is a testament to the impact this university had on him. All those great qualities and traits are on display when you meet Chip Hale. In my conversations with him about becoming the next head coach, I saw the shared values of this university and this athletics department. That's about integrity, compassion, adaption, inclusion, and determination. I saw a leader who's also a mentor. and a coach who cares deeply about his players and their journey in life. I also saw a competitor, a grinder, and a winner. I saw a person whose leadership is built on the foundation of championship success in all aspects of life. So, with that, I'm proud, I'm honored to introduce the new head coach at the University of Arizona, Chip Hale. All right. Let's get how about we grab it here too, Chip? We'll do a little.
Okay, yeah.
How about we do that? And we'll come out right over here.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. And then right here for a couple. Awesome, great. Hold that one more time. Super, go for
All
it.
right, we're gonna put that. You know how to put one of those on?
Yeah, just put a few times.
Thank you.
Exciting. There we go. Fits. Thank you, Dave. I want to start off by thanking Dave so much. This has been a great process for me. Dr. Robbins, the whole university, for giving me this opportunity. We had fantastic conversations in Cleveland, Ohio, and numerous over the phone. So this is people always ask me, what's your dream job? And I got to do it. I got to be a major league manager. But I used to tell them all the time, and even my coaches back in Detroit, my dream job was always a coach at the University of Arizona. And I've dreamt about this for years and years and years. As my wife knows, we live here in Tucson. This is our community. I've lived over 30 years now. I grew up in California, but this is my home. And I finally got to come home. And thank you so much for that opportunity. I'd like to introduce my wife, Judy, my daughter, Sabrina, my son, Jack, Natalie Jo, our daughter-in-law, and our first grandchild, Palmer. So we're very proud of her. My son, Eddie, is back in New York working, so he couldn't make it. My brother-in-law, Mark, and his family, Samantha, Nick, and Maria are here. So thank you guys for coming. We are, as we all know, as we grow in families, we are what our family is. And these guys have supported me through years and years of professional baseball. It's not been easy. My wife has basically raised these guys and done a wonderful job, so thank you, honey. Now I can come home every night. But it's a blessing to come back. I see people out here, obviously Joe and Steve and Phoebe and Coach. It's emotional. I said there's two people that can't be with us today, which is very hard on me, and that's Coach Kendall and, of course, Dave Sitton, who was very important to us also. Coach Wing couldn't make it. He had just had surgery. But as you can see, I'm wearing number 8. I know a lot of people are surprised, but we have a pretty good catcher now wearing number 6. So I said, I'm going to wear Coach Wing's number. So that's the reason for that. I come back here to lead these guys. This is really important to me. Obviously, as Dave said, Omaha is always our goal, and we plan on being frequent visitors there. It's important to me. It's the staff we're putting together. Everybody says, well, you've never done college baseball, Coach. I said, that's right, and I'm smart enough to know what I don't know. So the recruiting part of this thing, I'm assembling a staff. We know Dave Long's going to come back. Thank you, Dave, for doing that for me. And we're in the process of hiring a couple more coaches that have done this and know the landscape of recruiting. So I know you guys have a lot of questions about that. That's the first answer. And I'm learning very quickly. We've been here yesterday and on a lot of phone calls with a lot of young men, good young men, that are going to come here and help us win championships. But it's more than just the baseball. It's about mentoring young men, and I learned that from the best people you can. Jerry Kendall, Jerry Stitt, and Jim Wing took us under their wing and made us men. Steve and Joe could tell you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. And they went through some hard times with us, and they taught us how it was to be a real man and be a good husband and be a good father. So I appreciate that, Coach, for everything you did for me. Coach Wing, we've been in contact, and and we'll be in more contact. But there's been some great coaches here over the years. I talked to Andy this morning. He wasn't able to make it. His son just got a job in New Mexico. He's helping him. And of course, Jay, they did a wonderful job. They've raised the bar very high here. And we plan on staying above that bar and going higher. We're going to do everything we can to be national recruiters. We're going to recruit all over this country. We know the areas that we have to dominate, and we will. But we're not going to just limit ourselves to that. We're going to be all over this country. And this is, people talk to me all the time, well, what did you want to do? I said, this is my destination job. And this is a destination location for baseball. And if you don't think that when I recruit you, then you're not going to be a Wildcat. So I get bothered by that sometimes in the pro game. Well, this conference. I said the Pac-12 and University of Arizona is the place you want to be. This is where we're going to grow major league players. They're going to come here. If anybody that we that puts this uniform on is blessed enough to put this uniform on, I hope has aspirations to play in professional baseball. Are they all going to make it? No, unfortunately. But some are going to be unbelievable lawyers and doctors and people that are going to make our world better. And we're going to create those guys. But they should expect to get an opportunity to play pro ball, and it's my job and my staff's job to mentor them into it. And as Dave said, that's one thing I know something about is development. And we're going to develop players within the rules the best we can. And that's whatever time we can be on the field with them, they're going to be better. I can guarantee you that, whether it's hitting, fielding, throwing, whatever it is, pitching, they're going to get better. And that's kind of my passion in baseball. Let's face it. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed with a beautiful family. I'm blessed to be here at the University of Arizona. To put this uniform back on is, there's been a lot of sleepless nights of late, thinking about everything and standing up here in front of everybody. But to put this uniform on, it makes my heart feel good. And thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity. We'll answer some questions, but just thank you, honey, for always being there for me. I know it hasn't been easy. And it's just hard, Coach Stitt. And I know, Joe and Steve, you know this, that there were times where people thought, well, Chip, are you Jerry's son? It wasn't fair. But when you have a man like that, and if you don't suck everything you can out of him, information-wise and morally, this guy was a monster. And if I could be, and not a monster, I shouldn't say that. He was the best. And if I can be half as good as Jerry Kendall was at making young men into grown men, then I've done something. So thank you so much, guys.
All right, we will take questions from the media at this time. There's a microphone over to my right and your left. If you'd like to head over that way, please introduce yourself and your affiliation so Chip gets to know you, and we'll start out with David Kelly.
Chip, David Kelly, KVOA News 4. We're seeing an influx of guys with extensive major league experience coming back into the college game. Willie Bloomquist just got hired up at ASU. Eric Wedge, former big league manager, now at Wichita State. Why do you think we're beginning to see that, and that guys like you are wanting to come back and be a part of the college game again?
Well, I think part of it's opportunity. People are seeing and giving us the opportunity. I think there are a lot of guys. I've talked to guys over the years. Don Wakamatsu wanted to go back to ASU. There's a number of guys that want to do this. It's just hard. These are hard jobs to get. You talk about a major league manager's job. These are very difficult. These are iconic programs. So this is, as we talked about with a guy that's never done this before, we're stepping out and giving me this opportunity. So I think that's part of it. I also think they love what I love, and that's mentoring kids and making them major league players. Because unfortunately, it gets tougher as you go. The way guys are, we can create something here. And I think a lot of us who've done professional baseball for a long time, really want to take that challenge. I mean, I can't tell you how many players I had as a minor league manager, a big league coach, a big league manager that just yearned to learn. And this group is going to be even more aggressive in that way. So it's something that we all love, and there's a lot of guys that would love to do this. Trust me.
Hey, Chip, Jay Gonzalez, Fox Sports 1450. Chip, why now for you? This job has opened up a couple of other times. Why today?
Well, I will tell you this, that I talked to Jim Livengood when Andy Lopez, but I was too young then, according to Jim. So I've wanted this job for a long time. So I would have taken any time. Though the last time, I think I was managing the big league, so that was a tough one to leave. There's never been I've always wanted to come back here.
All right, any other questions from the media right now? Okay, Michael?
Yes. Hi, Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. This question is for Dave. Dave, to what extent did you and Chip talk about his plans for recruiting, personnel, roster, all of those types of things in your discussions, and how would you kind of summarize what his vision was?
Well, as Chip said, we had several conversations about the program and his vision and where we wanted to make sure we take the program, that had to be in alignment, that we wanted to kind of go in the same direction. But certainly the conversations about transitioning from where Chip was and, is it the right move, and, where recruiting is and what we want to do with our current roster of players, those are all conversations that you have with candidates, no matter what sport and whatever the interview process is for that sport. I was very impressed with Chip's knowledge of the college game, the space. Obviously, college baseball has grown and developed so much. There are so many more players that are playing in college and then going on to the professional leagues. So this isn't some there's a big wedge between the two. It has begun to merge, and through the last several years, and we talked about that, through the last several years and many years, how to bring the two together, because college baseball has never been better, I think, and had a wealth of players like they do now. And it's a great training ground to deliver, young men to the pro ranks, and that was important. Yeah. So we've got someone who knows how to develop players and understands what it takes to be successful in pro ball, to be successful at the major league level. So when you start to combine all that and it all converges, to me it makes a heck of a lot of sense. And then someone with tremendous passion and an understanding of what truly it's about in college baseball, and that's developing people as well as players, but people. So I think we hit it well there.
It's interesting. We have so many ex-college players in the pro game, right? So you don't know sometimes because they're not as proud as maybe I am. So everybody knows I'm an Arizona guy. There's Kevin Newman. Hey, we got to watch out for this guy. We're playing him, the Pirates. He's going to hurt us. He's a U of A guy. Oh, there's a U of A guy. So that is always, I'm always pointing them out across the league, and guys would get irritated. But we watched a lot of the college playoffs this year, and unfortunately, one of our coaches was a Vanderbilt grad, and one of our coaches, our manager, was a Stanford grad. So, to be honest, I took a little beating a little bit on those. I owed some dinners.
Brian Peterson with AZ Desert Storm. I was going to ask if you had watched any of Arizona this year.
Right.
And what are your thoughts on the team and the players that you're expected to have back?
Right.
And conversations you may have already had with guys that are kind of on the fence about
Yeah.
whether they want to return.
Well, Dave and I have been working the phones, parents, if kids coming in and talking to players, and they've been fantastic. We had a Zoom first when I was still in Arlington with the Tigers. We had a nice Zoom call with everybody. By the way, I'm tired of Zoom calls. And they have been fantastic. I mean, the different passion I'm hearing from guys and sort of the band together. If some guys are going to go, they're going to go. But we're not going to make it easy on them. we're pounding, and Dave has done yeoman's work since Jay left of keeping this thing together. I'm going to tell you that right now. He is responsible for everything that's going on right now. I'm getting in there and learning, but I mean, he's calling me at 10 o'clock at night. We got to call this parent, and he's on it. So we're going to do the best we can to keep everybody. My impressions of the team, very impressive. In fact, we sat and watched them probably knock Kumar Rocker down 10 picks, and that's not easy to do. That's a very premium pitcher. So it was very impressive. So there's a lot of talent, and we're going to add talent. And so, and it's more than talent that wins. It's culture, and it's passion, and I hear that in their voices. So I'm happy to hear that.
One other thing. What are your thoughts as far as the concept of recruiting? I know that's not something you've really ever had
Right.
to do before.
Well,
how are you looking at that?
Yeah, like I said, I'm hiring people who have done it for years, and I'm going to learn from them, and we're going to get after it. And as Dave said in his talk, it's about relationships, and kids want to come play for the coach, and that's part of the reason why this whole portal issue and where are we going to keep this guy or that guy? Some you're not. And quite frankly, we talked about it. I played for a pretty darn good coach, and like I said, Coach Kendall. And if Coach Stitt would have left in the midst, who knows what would have happened? So I have to be sensitive to that and understand these kids. And the great thing that I've heard so far, as you asked me before, is their passion for the university, for the city of Tucson, and that's special. So I think we have a chance with the guys coming back to do something special next year.
I just might add, I mean, again, as Chip said, recruiting is really about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's about forming connections, relationships, trust, having people that understand what we have here, helping to spread that word. All of those things, are important in recruiting. Fundamentally, recruiting is a people business. It's about communicating and being able to share that vision, and being straight up and straightforward. And that's what we've always done here, and that's what Chip is all about. He will be very successful on the recruiting front. You're doing it every day when you're in the major. You've got to talk to people and have relationships and get people to believe in you. I'm not speaking for him, but that's what so I see that, and I know it's going to be really successful here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's something actually I'm excited about. I'm excited to meet the guys, and we have to. First of all, it's identifying the right people too. You want, that's the key with Dave and the other assistants we're going to hire is we need really good talent evaluators and guys that can help us win. So that's the first piece. The next piece is getting them to come play for us, and that is really about just, I want to come play for that guy. That's how I felt. When Jerry Kendall walked in my house, are you kidding me? He didn't come to watch me play. He came to watch one of my teammates play. And Coach Wing said, what about that guy? He said, yeah, he's pretty good. So when he came into my house, it was pretty impressive. And that's what I plan on being, very impressive.
Todd Walsh, Valley Sports, congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of Coach Kendall, what do you think he'd say about all this, Chip? What would he say to you about the journey and how you got to this point?
I think I have one saved message in my voicemail, and it's from Jerry Kendall a month before he passed. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to call him back before he did. But he would tell me that you're prepared for this and to jump into it with a passion that you played with, that you coach with at the pro level. And he would tell me he's proud. And I know that. And everything we do here at Arizona is going to be above board, just like Coach was, as you know. You were with us.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in my life to play for all three coaches. And what I learned here, they made me a major leaguer. Look at me. I'm no freak of nature. I was a grinder, and I could hit. And Coach Stitt taught me how to hit. And Coach Kendall taught me how to catch a ground ball. So I know he'd be proud.
Follow up to that, if I could, you mentioned sleepless nights. Was that wondering if you're going to get the call, or was it about?
Yes,
Okay.
a lot of it was that. A lot of it's everything. You know, this is important to me. So it's not like I just want to come back here and work 9 to 5. I know this is a 24-hour job. I know that this is a 365-day job. And people say, well, you're there, you know, you've done this for. In my heart, I'm 20 years old. I look in the mirror sometimes like, oh my God, who's that guy? But yeah, you have to everything. But it's just thinking about staff, and you do the same thing when you interview for a major league job. You interview all night in your sleep. You answer your questions. It's just part of life. So we'll get some sleep now, both of us. I'm back in my bed at home.
Rich Ferrer, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Rich, how you doing?
Good. Congratulations. Welcome
you,
home.
thank you.
Quick question. Can you describe what the conversation was like with the Tigers and AJ when you said
Yeah.
this is something I want to pursue?
Well, number one, I don't know if you guys know this, but we've had 2 coaches that have been taken to the college ranks. Our assistant hitting coach, Jose Cruz Jr., left us about probably a month ago to coach at Rice. He's an alum at Rice. So he had to address the team. AJ makes you address the team and tell them. And so when this sort of started when the job came open, let's put it that way, when Jay decided to leave, we were walking up the stairs in Tiger Stadium or at Comerica, and AJ tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Am I going to lose another coach?" And I said, and I had to be honest with him. I said, I did text the athletic director and told him that I have a lot of interest. And he goes, "I'm going to lose you." So they were prepared. Al Avila, the general manager, they've been unbelievable. It was Judy and I know this. I just coached in a World Series in 2019 with the Nationals. I went to the Tigers. And let's face it, we knew where we're at, and AJ knew what the situation was, and we were having more fun teaching. I've never had a group of kids that have come out early. We had to back them off. These are professionals, not college kids. They were like college kids, and so when I addressed that group, it was hard. It was very difficult to tell them I was leaving, but I've never seen them so happy for somebody, and they knew my passion for Arizona because they had gotten buried with it during the College World Series. So,
And a follow-up question. It's nice to have a lot of your former teammates and alumni here. What kind of reaction have you gotten from around professional baseball from former players and people you've coached with?
well, I got more texts when I got the job at Arizona than I did when we won the World Series. I'll tell you that, which is something because I thought I'd never get more texts in my phone ever. So it was really, really, really good response, and a lot of guys that want to help, of course.
That's good.
Right? And they just know that this was my life and is my life is Arizona baseball and the university. So it's important to me to bring in the best staff we can bring in all facets of the game to make it even better.
Any other questions from the media? If not, if you reserve time for a one-on-one with Chip, that will take place in the baseball offices, go out the side door, and then down that direction. For everyone else, thank you for being here. Chip, welcome home.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming. All right.
It's going.